Good evening, people. Got a story. It's a little bit more long-winded than my other ones, but it's very complex and it has a lot of facets to it. So please bear with me. Otherwise, go over to the cat videos that if you just scroll up on your Facebook, you'll see. They're probably funnier than I am anyway. This wasn't meant to be funny. This was just, it's a tragedy. It's like Homer's Odyssey. So, let me give you some background here. If you live in a small town or any medium-sized town, I don't think this happens in the city as much, but in smaller towns we have these Facebook community pages. I'm sure it's in the suburbs as well. You know, where people in the community like to talk, usually about other people, but sometimes about losing cats, or they're really big on drivers that aren't driving correctly, you know, and I get the anger, I get pissed off too. And every now and then you'll see something really good where, you know, a restaurant is misbehaving, not washing their stuff, and then people flip out. And I like to follow it, you know. I'm a voyeur. I don't really jump in there, you know. I'm not much of a participant, but I really enjoy watching it go down. And if something's got more than 20 comments on it, it's gonna be good. You know, people take their stake in the ground and they go after each other. And I'm sure if you've seen it, you've seen it. I mean, it's so good that I got rid of my cable. Here are 3 things I watch. I watch Netflix, YouTube, and my local community page. It's the greatest, right? So in our local community page, like I said, people like to complain about different issues in their lives. And we had one person, I'm going to call him B, just to stay anonymous there. And he had a crack house next to his, a meth house next to his house. And he was upset, rightfully so. I actually had a meth house or a drug house, I don't know if it was meth or heroin, whatever, right next to my house in Tacoma. And it was horrible. In fact, after we got him out, I ended up moving because I didn't want that shit around, you know. Chances are you might get someone in there. But, you know, this guy's got a meth house next to his house, and he's had to deal with a lot of things. And he's been posting on the community page, and he harasses people that go to this house, rightfully so, you know, takes their pictures, yells at them, takes it into his own hands. And I don't blame him one bit. You know, if my family's there, if I've got my most valuable possession and I've got a bunch of crackheads, meth heads ruining my most valuable possession, I'm going to be pissed too. Well, you know, after posting and taking these actions against this particular house, this individual started up his own page. Now, if the community page is kind of like public TV, his page is more like HBO, because in order to get into his page, you have to answer a couple questions, almost like pledging a fraternity. I've never gone down that, so I'm not a part of this, but I do know people that are a part of it, and they kind of keep me updated. I also don't have HBO, back to that analogy. You know, but like I said, it's a stringent process to be a part of this. And as I understand it, they're kind of a little bit on the vigilante side, you know, and vigilante is a strong word. I like to say they're protecting the community. Thank you, B. And, you know, they go around in some of these homeless camps in the area, you know, they bust them up and they yell at people. This is what I heard. It's hearsay. Let me protect myself. I don't want to slander anyone. But according to one of these meth heads who posted on the regular community page, he slammed this guy for going ahead and breaking up his encampment. Whatever. I could care less. You know, good. Thank you. Well, a couple weeks ago, there was a guy in front of one of the grocery stores, I guess, and he had a sign, willing to do work, and he listed a list of his trades that he was willing to do. He just wants some extra money for Christmas. It turns out this guy was a part of the regular group, not the vigilante group, not the citizens protecting group, whatever you want to call them. And this guy went over with his buddies, I think it was his buddies, I'm not really sure, and essentially assaulted this guy. As it turns out, this guy wasn't begging. This guy was just asking for actual work, you know, and or the other side of the coin is that he was trolling, you know. But worlds have come out of Facebook and into the real world where there was actually violence. Now, I don't want to take sides on vigilantism or protecting the community, whichever word you want to use. That's why I'm using both, because I'm kind of Switzerland on this, because I see the benefits of both. I believe we should stand up for the community, but at the same time, we shouldn't be beating up innocent people. But I've always looked at myself as a participant. And I've been watching this guy. When this guy went after him, I said, you know what? What am I doing? Here I am, just a voyeur on Facebook, just watching this whole thing go down. And I'm not taking any action. Am I a man? And it's stuck in my craw. So finally, the other night, I'm going to our local grocery store, Safeway, and I see a guy sitting there asking for money. I got pissed. I was like, this is a tough time of year for everyone. Everyone is running up their credit cards. We're all tight on cash. And this guy's standing in front of the grocery store begging for money. I was like, fuck that. And I went to him and I was just like, what the hell are you doing taking money from people? Get a fucking job. Well, he rattles off something about charity. And that just set me off. I'm like, really? He's going to say that? He's going to use that excuse? I took this fucking bell out of his hand that he was ringing, annoying everyone, and I slammed him upside the head with it. And then he had this big red bucket where everyone was putting money into it. I fucking said, give me that. I'm going to give that to charity. I'm going to show you. Well, the guy's all staggering and stuff, getting all beat up. And I'm just like, good. I've done a great thing. I've protected our community. But suddenly, everyone's going to this guy's defense. I'm like, what the hell just happened here? I'm the good guy. He's the bad guy. And then people started mumbling something about blah, 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 army. I'm like, it's an army. They're vicious people. Needless to say, the cops came. That wasn't fun. They're all yelling at me. And they're saying he worked for charity. Again, something about an army. And I don't quite buy it. But it's just one of those deals where no good deed ever goes undone. I'm not sure what that really means, but the point of the matter is I got fucked. I tried to protect my community, and instead now I am just a pariah in it, a guy that goes around beating up people. So for B, I understand you. You have my heart. I understand where you come from, and you inspired me. And I'm going to, in the spring, if I see those girls out in front of the Safeway asking for money, cookies my ass. I'm going to take another lesson from B, and I'm going to go after those sons of bitches. Someone has to stand up for the rights of us common folk. Police certainly aren't. They arrested me, for crying out loud. Anyway, you have a good day. I'll talk to you later.